We have talked about this issue, electronic monitoring, a long time as it relates to inmates, pretrial, sentenced individuals waiting to go to the penitentiary. How is this going to work? Whether or not judges are appropriately using it. And typically we turn to Matt Dennis, founder and director of enforcement, ASAPrelease.org, that runs one of the largest monitoring services in the city, to get an update as to where we are. Matt, welcome to the show.
Hey, good morning, and thanks for having me.
So happy New Year to you. Matt, we start off another year, 2024. Obviously, there's been a lot of talk about this. There's been a lot of back and forth on the issue. Where do we find ourselves today?
As it relates to electronic monitoring and our jail size, I think, we've had a good and growing relationship with NOPD and with our city. And I think that things are looking brighter. There are some solutions, and they're available. And I think the city, people like Oliver Thomas and our Criminal Justice Committee are taking advantage of some of these solutions. So I think it looks good.
Are there any goals that they're setting in 2024 as to the utilization of this technology?
Well, I think that, there's still a lot of confusion. It takes time to educate people fully. GPS sounds simple enough, but when you use it, I think as a sheriff, you understand, using
Sure.
it to mitigate jail size capacities and to protect the public. Our victim protection program is second to none. There is nobody else that offers it. I think that there's a lot to learn, though. It takes time. And one of the goals that I'm hoping that we're going to accomplish, and I think we are, is we've recently made an offer to fund and deliver to the city the ability to do proximity reporting, which is a very important tool. It's the tool that the faster you run your crime scenes through our system, the faster you can catch people, or at least eliminate the now 400 people that are enrolled in our program from that crime scene. So if anybody wearing an ankle monitor is committing a crime, they're going to get caught. The faster we run those proximity reportings, the better. I think, again, as a sheriff, you know the value of time when it comes to your investigations. Videos overwrite themselves. Audios disappear. Witnesses and evidence go away. And the faster you can get access to knowledge on who was at that crime scene, the faster you can go after evidence.
Information is power, plain and simple. Even when it comes to the utilization of other technologies like license plate recognition cameras that are in the mobile mode, we utilize those to ride around the neighborhood around a crime scene just to capture plates to see if there's any link that we can make on our link analysis software to anybody that may potentially be involved with that crime scene. So, I mean, it's just yet another tool, and you start building these tools on tops of tools. Let me ask you this, Matt. Kind of the way that I view the world is that the utilization of the technology that you deployed is not going to ever be really less important. It's going to be more important. Because if you think about what advances in policing, and if we're able to get our human capital numbers up, and we start making more arrests and we start clearing more cases, there are more bodies with a limited asset, meaning the number of prison beds available. It just heightens the need to have a robust program like this, and it's not going to go away.
That's a fact. And, the program is useless without the coordination and communication with the rest of the criminal justice system. I sent you an email, and it included a case that we're dealing with now with New Orleans. And without giving up too much information on open investigation, you have an individual who's facing a criminal charge. And this is an interesting twist. Back on Lundi Gras, we were able to provide information to NOPD that puts an individual wearing an ankle monitor at the scene of a triple murder. He's been arrested. That's the Tyree Quinn case. He's been arrested. He's in jail, and he's facing these murder charges. But to have an individual wearing an ankle monitor be the victim of a murder is a whole new twist. And if not for the communication and the teamwork between us in the 7th District and the rest of NOPD, we lose tremendous amounts of evidence and information and time. Time is the biggest thing we lose. And that time would have lost the videos, the audios, and many other pieces of information that allowed New Orleans to develop. We had a pretty certain understanding that this individual probably was murdered. We knew who the suspect was 2 weeks before we found his body. So, I mean, that's the advancement of data, technology, and information, but it doesn't work without coordination and communication. So we're offering this process free to the city, one step beyond what we're doing now. We've taught the districts how to do it, but now what we do is we staff our own people, our own office, with people who could take this crime data daily, not just from Orleans, but from Jefferson, St. Tammany, St. Bernard. And the first thing we should do with all of our crime locations is eliminate the 400 individuals in the Orleans Parish area that have been ordered to ankle monitors. We can eliminate them right away. It takes seconds. So I think that's something that's important, and we should move forward as fast as we can.
Yeah, I don't understand the reluctance. I do understand the operational challenge, though. You deploy technologies, third parties deploy technology, but you always have to be in a position to receive it.
Yeah.
Not unlike funding. It's great to go get funding of new projects, but if you don't have the ability to receive it, in other words, execute on those dollars to actually do what you intend to do, because it takes a lot of administrative work. It's a lot of attention. It's not just busy work. You got to think about it, think about how to process it through your systems in the most effective and efficient way. And if there's not that desire and ability to do so, there's a lot of information that's flowing out there that's just not acted upon and of no value. I mean, it's only value when you act upon it, right?
Well, yeah, absolutely. And I think that's evident in our test run. New Orleans, like I said on our last time I was on your show, they gave us a list of 1,460 cold case gun violence crimes that occurred from January 1st of 23 to August 1st of 23. And I don't think they expected the flood of data back that we gave them. We gave them, I'm confident, data that will solve 30 crimes. I'm confident it may be even more. It may be as many as 50. It's certainly going to lend these investigations a lot of information for sure. But I don't know if they were ready for the flood of data we sent back, which is why we went one step farther and said, how about let us run it all? And then we can just systematically send to your intelligence or different districts or whatever your special operations are. We can send them the data that relates. We can send it out to who it belongs to, and we can do this in a coordinated effort. And I think it's extremely doable. And it's not – the one thing New Orleans NOPD doesn't have is the manpower, which is why we want to give that manpower for free to our city. We're not doing anything special. Don't get me wrong. We already do this. It's not hard to add St. Tammany, Jefferson. Jefferson should give it to us. Jefferson should link up with us, make sure that we're running their major crime scenes so we can eliminate these 400 people. Last time I was on your show, it was 350. It's 400. It'll be 450 in another 2 weeks. And then for what you said, there's nowhere to put these people. There's nowhere. We're seeing more arrests. We're on New Orleans NOPD to be more proactive, which means there's going to be more arrests. But that doesn't mean you're going to have more jail beds. You're going to have a bigger issue when it comes to where to house them. So doing things like proximity reporting and analyzing these crime scenes is something that I don't think our local law enforcement is going to be able to keep up with, which is why it's imperative we provide that service, that and the training to understand what we're giving them. It's very important.
No doubt, because all it is you're collecting their data. It's their data that you're putting, together in many respects, right? I mean,
well, absolutely. You have a crime scene, and we cross-reference that with our locations of our individuals. And if anybody was there, we give that back to you. You, as a sheriff, understand how extremely valuable that is. You can literally identify a suspect in minutes.
Yeah.
That you may not have otherwise been able to identify.
Let's hope that we're able to tie up these loose ends in 2024. I am optimistic. I see a lot of positive things happening. I think you do as well. and hopefully we're able to make a bigger impact on what we're doing, and maybe in the crime session, that special session that's being called by Jeff Landry, Governor Jeff Landry, that there may be some additional financing funding for this, because I think it's key to eliminating recidivism. They know that they're being tracked, know that we can put them in places, and with that, less likely to recidivate. So obviously, it would be a win-win on many fronts.
I can say this. We have and continue to work closely with the Attorney General, now Governor, now with the new Attorney General, the state police, who are poised to come in and help the city with some of their crime issues. They've always been involved, the FBI, the U.S. Marshals. I mean, we have a lot of training that goes on every day to teach Jefferson Parish and others how to be involved. It's only going to get better. It will continue to get better. I can say that Oliver Thomas, the head of the Criminal Justice Committee, has been very proactive. He definitely listens, and he is interested in solutions. There's juvenile issues. There's a lot of issues to discuss. We do have a decade-old process that has proven itself. And I think we're in good shape. We just got to let things keep moving forward as a team. We're better together, no doubt about it.
All righty. Well, thank you so much, Matt Dennis, for joining us today. Keep up the great work. We'll check in with you later as to any changes and status as well. Have a great week.
You too.
It's Matthew Dennis, founder and director of enforcement, asaprelease.org. We'll be right back, folks. Stay with us.
Around New Year's, we get a little obsessed with changing ourselves and forgetting the things we're already doing right, like taking our supplements every morning or scheduling me time into our day. Therapy helps you recognize those victories. That's BetterHelp, H-E-L-P.
That's $150. So visit FanDuel.com 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com.